This is a meeting of the Council held in public. It is not a public meeting. There is no fire drill planned, so if the fire alarm sounds, please leave by the exit nearest to the large screen at the front of the room and proceed down the fire exit to the courtyard. Once it is safe to return, councillors will receive a text message. Officers will also advise when it is safe to return to the meeting. We are recording the meeting this evening using our webcasting system. The webcast will be transmitted live and will also be available on the Council's website following the meeting. All mobile devices should be switched off or set to silent so that the meeting is not interrupted by ringtones. Since this is the very first Pitsea Area Committee, I'd like to say welcome to everyone. The establishment of the area committees was announced at the annual council meeting on the 23rd of May 2024, and their role is to ensure the delivery of services to support residents and communities to maximise community resilience at an area level. Each area committee is made up of all the elected members in the wards that they cover, and I am pleased to welcome my fellow ward members from Pitsea South East and Pitsea North West. The area committees are responsible for the following: to identify the main priorities that reflect the biggest needs in the area, to monitor the quality and effectiveness of services delivered by the council and the other main providers in the area, whilst developing strong working relationships with key council stakeholders and partners, to develop efficient and effective solutions to local area priorities, as well as supporting borough-wide issues, to encourage residents to become involved in decision-making on matters which affect them and enhance community engagement, to consult, engage and involve local people, community organisations and partners in understanding area priorities, and to propose and sponsor investment proposals, allocating set budgets accordingly, and to commission activity to improve local quality of life and public satisfaction in the area. There are two funds that the Area Committee are responsible for: the Believe in Basildon Fund and the Community Priority Fund. The Believe in Basildon Fund is commissioned through at Area Committee members and aims to support activities and initiatives that tackle local priorities that clearly benefit localities and communities and organisations within them at an area-based level. The Community Priority Fund is specifically accessed through voluntary and community sector organisations and aims to support activity or the provision of equipment that clearly benefits residents at a ward level and which addresses local priorities. The activity must provide genuine community benefit or address community need. Now, apologies for absence is the first item, and we have no apologies. Anybody, any declarations of interest? No? Go to the Pitsea Area Committee funding report. Grant?
Thank you, Chair. So a funding report has been pulled together based on both of the two funds that have just been discussed there, and there are 4 items that have been brought forward for consideration by the committee this evening. I suggest, Councillor, if we go through, if I introduce them one and then at a time, then go back to yourself, because I'm aware the committee might want to discuss those, and then we take a vote each time and then deal with them in turn, if that's okay. So, going to the report. The first item is a proposal from the Believe in Basildon Fund for £1,500 for an investment for the delivery of the crunch service in Pitsea. So we're asking the area committee for that £1,500, and that question is also being considered across other area committees, in fact all of the other area committees, over the coming weeks as these meetings set out, and the idea therefore being that an additional crunch service will be able to operate in each of the different localities on the 23rd of November if all parties agree. The location within Pitsea that's been identified is Tanswell Avenue on the Chestnut Road estate. And that has been worked out by colleagues over in the relevant service as the most appropriate place to be able to do so. I'm sure people will know what the crunch is following a very successful number of them this summer, but for those that don't, the crunch acts as a pop-up household waste recycling centre which can be located at different locations in the borough. They act as a local site for residents to dispose of household waste and recycling materials, and the aim of these is to provide an alternative solution to residents who may not be able to take their waste items to the local tip in Pitsea. The date I gave is on a Saturday when they normally run, so it'll be a Saturday morning between 9 a.m. and 12:30, and residents can just turn up and dispose of those items on this day should the area committee vote for it and the others. Of course, there are some restrictions on certain types of waste that can be used, but these are communicated on our website should we proceed, and via our social media and any other way which we can reach residents. So I'll pass back over to you to discuss this proposal for, say, £1,500 for the possibility of bringing the crunch to Pitsea on the 23rd of November.
Okay, thank you. Anybody got any questions or points to raise?
Technology. Obviously, I think we could all agree. Obviously, for £1,500 to bring back the crunch is an amazing idea. I feel the residents, and I think we all can agree that the residents came out in force and absolutely used our service brilliantly. And obviously, seeing the community spirit that came along with it as well was absolutely exceptional. But yeah, I think it's an absolutely amazing idea to bring back the crunch for the amount that is proposed.
Do anybody else? No? Okay. We'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Okay, so we'll take the vote on. The committee is in agreement of the £1,500 investment for the delivery of the crunch service being delivered in Pitsea from the Pitsea Believe in Basildon Fund. Do we all agree? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Item 2 on this report is a proposal for a £3,000 investment towards the Carols in the Parks event proposed for Pitsea. This is for the purchase of a lit Christmas tree that will be installed in Pitsea for over the festive period, and this will be this is proposed to be funded from the Believe in Basildon Fund. So the Carols in the Parks events form part of the council's Christmas celebrations, and there are discussions with many of the area committees over the coming weeks in relation to how the areas will be celebrating the important festive period across our communities. The proposal for the Carols in the Park event is a 60-minute event that will feature performances, and a ceremony of events will take place with local schools and other community choirs participating. but the tree will be in situ for the whole of the festive period, and obviously will be a great spectacle in the local community for communities to gather around during that period of time, which is so important to local families. The proposal for Pitsea is that the event is due to take place on Monday, December the 9th, and to be held in Northlands Park. And pending the decision tonight, obviously a great number of comms will be going out to ensure that residents are aware of it and are able to support it. I'm very aware that the next item is also going to come back onto opportunities in relation to this, but perhaps if we take the vote on the tree in itself in the first place, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Any members got any points they want to?
Just to say, I think it's a really lovely idea. I think, as you said, Ben, earlier in the crunch, it really showed the community spirit that is available in the borough, and I think it would be a really strong dedication from us to our residents. Thank you.
I agree with what Councillor Palmer has said, that it will be, you know, a lovely community sort of celebration, and I think it's something that hopefully the residents will appreciate and, you know, will enjoy. And it'll be nice to, you know, to have a local school maybe sing some carols, perform. Yeah.
I was just going to add to the enjoyment of the residents. I promise I won't sing.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll take a vote. The committee is in agreement for a £3,000 investment towards Carols in the Park event in Pitsea for the purchase of a lit Christmas tree over the festive period from the Pitsea Believe in Basildon Fund. And as Grant has said, that the tree will be in situ over the Christmas period. Can we now vote, please? Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. And then on to item 3 on the report, which is on a similar line. So there is a proposal again from the Believe in Basildon Fund for a £4,000 additional investment for Christmas celebration proposals specific to the Pitsea event. The thinking and the basis behind this proposal is that this further funding will be able to enhance the Carol in the Park scheme. I've mentioned that these are proposed to take place across the borough, but here in Pitsea, the proposal is to go that little bit further and put a bit more investment in it. And the basis behind this is to be able to support with different opportunities with different stalls and different stands, and working with possible food vendors to be able to bring that into the evening, as well as to take this chance to plant, I should say, a permanent tree. So as and when this committee is talking about Christmas each year, we will no longer be talking about bringing in a temporary lit tree for Christmas, but we will the people of Pitsea and the children of Pitsea will see their own tree grow, and it will be a permanent, I guess, opportunity to reflect on the work of this area committee, and as I say, the first area committee that the council's held like this. So yeah, that is the proposal for the additional money for the planting and the ceremony around a permanent tree, and to be able to enhance the evening with some more specific celebrations for our communities.
Thank you. Any comments from members? Thank you.
So yeah, I think it's an absolutely amazing idea. I think having that permanent Christmas tree planted there as well, very similar to what you said, Grant. Oh, I think you're still buzzed in. Apologies. Apologies, technology. Over time as well, we'll actually save quite a significant amount of money by planting this Christmas tree moving forward. And of course, spending that little extra, getting certain vendors there, it is about the festive spirit, it's about the children, parents, whoever, carers, to come down to a place and have a very festive, cheerful, fun environment to be around. So I am all for, obviously, this amount put forward for the festivities for Pitsea South East.
Again, sorry.
Thank you. Can I just ask the officers, what will the sign-off process be for specifics against this sum of money that we're voting on tonight, assuming it's voted through, of course?
Yeah, so if it's voted through, the expectation is that myself and my officers will work with the committee chair to ensure the money is used for this specific purpose and how we can support the committee with enhancing this scheme as much as possible. That will be the purpose of the communities team, to be able to support them, and Colleen, who I'm sat with here, that will be specific to her role to do so.
Sorry, what I was thinking of specifically was, will we need to come back to another formal meeting to agree specifics, or can that be done offline once the overall amount's been approved?
No, so what you're approving tonight is an envelope to work within. As long as it's specifically spent on that event and not something else, then that's absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Baker. Yeah, I would like to just say that I'm quite excited about planting a Christmas tree, so that we have something in Northlands Park that anybody can use in future years, whether it's the schools, community groups. I just think it's sustainable. It's rather than having to pay out a lot of money for a tree, we've got something in the park that everyone can use, and I think it's quite exciting that we're able to do this as the area committee.
Thank you. I was going to add to your thing about the sustainability. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's a real impact for the environment. One tree I appreciate, but it does engage with what's going on in schools nowadays, where we're really working hard to get kids looking at the environment and ways to save energy. So I think that's an additional plus, if you like, an additional plus. Thank you.
Okay, any other?
Thank you, Chair. Could I just ask the officers, with regards to the planting of the tree, what would we need to do for the year for the protection of the tree, through to potential vandalism, looking after the tree? Is that an additional fund that the committee would be? Thank you.
Yeah, Councillor, the parks, I've spoken to an officer in parks, and they're going to certainly be keeping an eye on the tree and watering it. So we've had that discussion. I understand that there is CCTV in the park. So, you know, that is something that the parks officers are aware of. So other than that, I'd have to sort of seek more advice on that, but that is something I've discussed with the Park Service.
Thank you. Any other points or comments? Okay, we'll vote. The committee is in agreement for a 4,000 additional investment for Pitsea specific Christmas celebration proposal from the Pitsea Believe in Basildon Fund. Can we all vote on the proposal? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And then I'm coming on to the last item. So this one is a proposal that Councillor Reid, the Chair, has sponsored, but I'll speak to it initially. This is from the Community Priority Fund, and the proposal is for an investment towards the Pitsea School Uniform Bank for the amount of £1,560. The Pitsea School Uniform Bank is a voluntary-based community project that aims to connect local people with good quality school uniforms for free. They're doing excellent work in Pitsea, supporting those families to ensure that their children are fit and proper and ready for their education. Recognising that for many the costs of school uniform can be a difficulty. So an excellent project. They've been supporting communities in Pitsea for some time now, and they open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. out of Chalvernham Community Centre and Social Club each week, and the community of Pitsea are fantastic at donating school uniform as and when their children have moved on, to ensure that they can do so. The issue being, and the reason for the funding, is that where they are able to store that school uniform with the help of the Chalvernham Community Centre, they only have a certain amount of space, which means that regrettably at times they're having to turn donations away, whereas they just simply don't have the capacity to do so. And quite rightly, they've spoken to councillors, and councillors now sponsoring how we might be able to support them to deliver more support for residents. And that's a really good example of what we want the Community Priority Fund to be able to do. So with this money, they're seeking funds for storage as part of their service delivery in the community, and on the basis of this, should the money be given, they will purchase additional storage, which will mean they can take even more donations from the school and from local communities and be able to support and help even more families. Thank you.
Can I just add to that? I have actually been to visit them when they've been opened for the School Uniform Bank. They're all volunteers. It started with one mum who was doing it from the boot of her car, because she just thought it was so wrong to throw good uniforms away, and it's grown in 4 years to a very necessary, and there's always a queue outside waiting to come in. A lot of people donate, a lot of the schools want to donate, but as we've been told, they can only take so much, and this will enable them to take from schools all over Basildon, so they can help more children to always, have the uniform that they need. Is there anybody else that would like to?
Thank you, Chair. I was just going to ask the question, I appreciate it's to hire storage area, but does it also provide or include a cost for storage availability, the fact that you might need boxes and things like that, or is that outside of the remit? They've got, I know we're looking to pay for storage, but within that, does it include a cost for boxes and things to store the uniform in?
Councillor, not as far as I'm aware. My understanding is, I will check on that, but my understanding is it's for the storage and the insurance that comes with that storage.
Okay, thank you.
Obviously, I think it's an amazing idea. Having more storage means more uniforms can then be stored, which means then we can help more families and children. Obviously, I've got a 6-month-old, so I don't need to worry about uniforms as of yet. But even still, where he's only 6 months, I know there are extortionate prices for uniforms. So I am with this 100%. I think it's great. The more storage, the more children we can help out, and then obviously the less stress on families. I think it's an amazing idea. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Just to add that it is pure storage space. They just want a higher storage space so they can put everything. They have rails to hang all the uniforms and things on, so they just want everything in one place. So it makes it easier, and they can take more uniforms in.
Yeah, thanks for that. I was just wanting to clarify that they have got the facility to deal with it and to store it appropriately, but you've clarified that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other points or? Okay, so we'll vote. The committee is in agreement for the 1,560 funding award to the Pitsea School Uniform Bank from the Pitsea Communities Priority Fund. You can all show you. Thank you. Yeah, can we pass over to Grant to talk about what's happening in future programme? Thank you.
No problem, Councillor. I mean, I think I'm very keen to hear from other councillors around, obviously, the next time we meet. There's much work to be done, so thank you for the votes tonight. And obviously, the team will now be getting on with ensuring that these projects are out there and we get the money to the groups as quick as possible so they can start to make the difference as fast as possible. Just very wary that if there's anything members particularly want officers to look at and work on before the next meeting in February, I'm happy to raise that now or just or can speak to officers. Clearly there's kind of, as Councillor Reid set out at the beginning, there's two aspects really. There's one around future funding opportunities and from after this first cycle of funding, we will be pushing much harder into the communities in relation to kind of what new ideas and initiatives and expressions of interest they may have. But also very aware that one of the other things all of the area committees can do is seek reports to come on the night in relation to services. So if there's anything people particularly want officers to request, whether that's internal colleagues or from external partners, which clearly we can't guarantee their participation, but we can seek to do so. So any ideas now, I'm happy to take, or happy to take that offline as well. Thank you.
Any councillors got any ideas for the future?
I think we might have ideas, but it'd be better to talk offline and then come back. Oh, sorry. I think where we would like to discuss further before maybe we present the ideas, so then we can obviously thoroughly think them through, then come back to you if that's okay.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Jack Ferguson.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for inviting me along tonight. As Cabinet Member, it's really enjoyable to see the first area committee coming about and really support the decisions that you've made as a committee this evening. Just in relation to kind of future items that are coming forward and further discussions that you want to be able to have, officer time is available both in public meetings but also outside of the public meeting forum, so the full support of officers to be able to work with you as a committee to be able to shape some of those ideas that are coming forward and also engage with community groups is available to then bring back to the next meeting in this side of the municipal year.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, that's the end of the meeting. Thank you all for attending, and we look forward to Christmas in the park.